For the past couple months, I've been searching far and wide for a way to multiply my money. While Biaheza turned anything he touched into gold, I was looking for a secondary source of income. I mean, you can never really have enough, right? In the past, I've tried day trading, NFTs, crypto, and even let Siri day trade for me. But while I was flexing on the brokies, a thought occurred to me. Before Biaheza retired, he posted a specific video all about making $5,000 a day with a super secret strategy. So what if I tried that myself? Would it unlock that money-making path I was looking for? I've never been interested in stocks that much, mainly because the returns are so low, but $5,000 a day? Now we're talking. You see, I'm on the path to becoming a millionaire, and honestly, any shiny object that will get me there faster, I'm interested in. Mainly because it's fun and I can make videos about it, but... So what exactly is this strategy? Well, let me give an example. The rise of watches has been huge in social media over the past several years, and it continues to rise. Before Imangaji popularized the old money look, it wasn't really on the uptrend that much. But once it started trending a couple years ago, companies that sold old money things like watchmakers went up. Of course, you have to hit this just right as it's a swing trade. So this is kind of like trading trends. The real name is social arbitrage swing trading, because you're using social media trends as an edge over Wall Street and hedge funds. They've got the best data, algos, bots, experience, everything you can think of. But they're not really on top of scrolling TikTok and Instagram. But not every trend is a winner. So how do you know what to do? There's actually a 4-step checklist to determine whether you should yeet your life savings on. First, there has to be a lot of hype around it for longer than a week or two. Second, are companies in the space getting more visitors and more sales? Taking it a step beyond that, are they sold out? Finally, does the Google search volume back all of it up? That's a lot, but it honestly does make sense. And on the other hand, if a company makes a bad move, you can still take advantage by shorting. So if a company makes a new marketing move, it's time to gobble up the bag. Right, so this is great and all, but there's a few issues I have to overcome to be successful with the strategy myself. The strategy was sound, but the obstacles in my way scare me and made me wonder if I should have even attempted to make this video at all. First of all, I've got to find one of these trends, and since I'm not an NPC, TikTok. I'm not on TikTok and I barely log into Instagram, so I'm low-key a boomer. This means I have to doom scroll or find some other researching method. The issue on top of this is that Biaheza said not to force it.
Now, I've personally had the most success with this when I wouldn't force these trades.
And sure, it makes sense, but I need the bag ASAP. So it's time to find a few trends and get traded, because Q3 earnings are coming out in a couple weeks. This is the perfect time to do it. That's actually when Biaheza timed his as well. So if I hit this right... But hey, I don't want to get ahead of myself here. I mean, I don't even have a stock picked out yet. Now fully prepared for battle, I was determined to find the next winning trend to get rich, or at least make some decent money. I talked to Tropic Corporate and they said the budget is $1,000 for this video. Budget approved! So I'm expecting to be at about 10 bands by the time I'm done here, which will be in 30 days. I've come up with a few ideas for trades, but they're all pretty forced.
When I wouldn't force these trades,
trying to think outside of the box was harder than I thought. I mean, here's an example of one that I'm not doing. So dopamine detox has been a big thing recently, right? Which leads people to having dumb phones. So logic could be to buy a dumb phone company, but there is none. Well, there is like Nokia or BlackBerry, but no one's actually gonna buy those phones, I'm sorry. But there is a real company behind the Minecraft movie, the Warner Brothers. And their trailer leads for the movie got a ton of hate. The problem is though, there's no real substance tied to the revenue of the movie since it hasn't even released. So I can't trade anything, or even with Diddy, because dude's getting a freaky amount of bad press, but he doesn't have or is tied to any public companies. There's 5 ideas in particular that I'm fond of though. Starting with Tesla. They got the robo-taxi announcement coming up and earnings. This could be a huge pump, so I'm buying 1 share at $263. Next up, Netflix. YouTube is becoming huge on TVs, not to mention pirating sites. But there's a problem. In order to short the stock and buy a put, I needed a ton more money because the share price is in the 700s, meaning the options are in the thousands. This brings me to my next purchase, or rather call. Sports betting is huge, and with football and basketball back, DraftKings is bound to go up. I see at least 3 of their ads every game I watch, so I'm buying a call option for 1 share to keep it cheap. Fourth up, MicroStrategy, the Bitcoin company. I genuinely have no clue what they do, but Bitcoin is on the move right now, slightly below 70,000. So it only makes sense as this bull heats up that the company with tons of Bitcoin goes up too, right? They've also got earnings coming up in a few weeks, so I'm buying 1 share at $170. And finally, Kraft Foods. Look, this one might be crazy, but hear me out. There was a company launched a couple weeks ago called Lunchly. The founders, Mr. Beast, KSI, and Logan Paul, have insane reach to school kids. So this has to take some market share and dig into Lunchables profits, meaning Kraft Foods earnings will be lower than expected in a couple weeks. Yeah, this one's an insane reach. I'm buying a put. Let's see what happens. With all my buys in for the time being, I reminisce on the good old days when Biaheza posted every week or two and spawned viewers into the finance entertainment space. It trickled down to me and my friends friends doing similar things. Times change, but those videos will always leave a positive imprint on me and countless others. The glaze is crazy, I know, but it's true, and I wanted to do the same thing he did for so many years, so subscribe to help me become the most subscribed to tropic. Also, never forget fun memes and get rich schemes. So, I made a big oopsie, like a Benjamin and a half one. And boy oh boy am I hating myself for not listening to the words of a football announcer. You can never go broke taking a profit. So the day after I bought that option on DraftKings, it went up 70%, giving me a $150 profit if I sold it. And now, God, it's down 43% or $160. Genuinely, what the frick was I thinking?
Spell red.
L-S-T-E-R.
Well, nothing else has been noteworthy and earnings aren't for a little while. I bought these in anticipation of these events happening, so we'll see. That major mistake haunting me, it would have an effect on me later that I would end up regretting by listening to that advice a little too much. But for now, this is gonna sound kind of messed up, but I've got another buy option in mind. There's been a terrible hurricane in North Carolina, and while money is going to Ukraine and not them, money will be flowing to specific companies to help supply the rebuild. So I was looking at Lowe's, Costco, and Home Depot. They're all a little too expensive and a little too up for my liking. Not to mention those are the obvious plays. So I've got a 300 IQ play here. A timber company that will supply the wood for the houses being rebuilt. Yeah, I know, I cooked. I don't know anything about wood companies, so I'm just picking one of the top ones. And buying a 250 call. This is risky because it'll be a delayed revenue boost for them, but with their earnings coming up too and Q4 coming, it should be fine. There is the fact that it's about to be winter, but that's besides the point. In other news on this portfolio, Tesla is straight dumping after the robo-taxi event. It didn't live up to the hype, I guess. I mean, I thought it was pretty cool, but MicroStrategy is up big time. But so is Bitcoin, so this should keep riding out nicely. With things cooling down a bit, it was a waiting game for the earnings and seeing what the results would be, and if I could multiply my wealth at a faster rate than Nancy Pelosi. So I had another major scare. Yesterday, the timber option went to 0. Seems like there wasn't a lot of volume on it, that's why it happened. But today it's back up in the green, $30 in fact. For now, I'll hold on to it, but I'll keep an eye on it. I did realize some gains today though, selling DraftKings for a $36 profit. Should have been $114 more of course, but I just wanted to get out and take it. I've got another couple stocks that I want to get into here soon. The only other update is that MicroStrategy is holding strong for me, at $45 in the green. Things are gonna get real interesting over the next couple weeks though. I have to admit, I wasn't a fan of stocks trading, but after the penny stocks video I did, and now this challenge, I was having a lot of fun in the traditional market. Crypto will always have my heart though. Shout out my boy Elon. Tesla earnings came in clutch. It had a huge rally last week and now I'm almost back in the green. I also escaped my short on Kraft Foods for a $6 profit. By escaped, I mean I had several limit sells and one finally hit as it expires in only a few days. This isn't quite the $5,000 a day I was expecting from Biaheza's video, but like I said earlier, profit is profit and I won't sell in the red unless I'm forced to. So I'm panic selling MicroStrategy right now. It's dumping hard after the earnings were flat out terrible. So I'm taking a $50 profit here. Not bad, but I'd like to buy in tomorrow if it keeps going down. What I can buy now though is Shopify. Hear me out here. With Q4 in full swing now, people buy a ton of stuff online from dropshippers, like this aura enhancing keychain. I know the earnings are based on Q3, but in a week or two they'll release and I'm betting it'll be pretty positive. Also, it's just super undervalued as a whole right now at $80. Even though I was making a lot of the right picks so far, the money wasn't quite rolling in like I had hoped, and I only had myself to blame. But hey, profit is profit, right? So a lot has happened in the past week, starting with MicroStrategy. It immediately bounced back, and I didn't get a cheaper entry. I literally sold at the bottom. That's a bit demoralizing, but on the bright side, my Tesla limit sell finally hit for $12 profit. All I'm gonna say is, it sucks not doing options on these because the money you can make without it is so small. I've got two new stocks I bought last week right after I filmed. It was a risky play, but both Apple and Amazon had earnings the next day, so I bought one share of each. And the Amazon one played out beautifully. My target limit sell was hit at $200, so I made about 10 bucks. But the Apple one, well, I'm still holding on to it. It's down about $5. This brings me to some big excitement yesterday/today. Trump media. DJT had a huge run up a couple days after the Joe Rogan podcast. And I figured with me betting on him getting elected, the stock would shoot up after he wins. So I wanted to buy options for this. Because of the demand, they were insanely priced. So I settled for a couple shares. I bought perfectly at the bottom at $36 per and ordered up to $50 and then back down to $41 where I put a sell order in. Sadly, it didn't take and I ended up selling at $36.12 or a 12-cent profit. After blowing past the 30 days and into ish territory, I pushed it one more week to see what would happen if I could make a huge trade to really put me in the green. But no matter what happened, I was happy to be involved in the market, and I even bought some shares of AMD to start my own portfolio. What's even crazier is that it's been 2 years since I made my first video using Biaheza to get clicks on my old channel, and now I'm doing it again. Shout out B-Treezy for the clout.
That's showbiz, baby.
So if it wasn't for my own ignorance, I'd be up big time right now. Like, big time. Tesla is pumping after Trump won. Bitcoin's hitting all-time highs. MicroStrategy went through the roof. Amazon went through the roof. You know what didn't? Apple. And that stupid timber company that I bought. I blew $200 on that call option all because I didn't sell in the beginning. But it's not all bad. The Shopify stocks I bought were a great pick. Earnings came out way above expectations and I got a clean $40 profit. A call option would have been so juicy. If only I went in this challenge with more money. Also, I know this is a stocks video, but I bought some Avalanche because play off the grid continues to be popular. And that's up $60. But what's incomprehensible is that after all those stocks I sold in the green, granted I sold them much lower than I should have, I only made like $5 profit after adding everything up. Oh, it could have been 1,000 likes and I'll do an options trading video with 10 bands.